Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fire525. Hello and welcome to yet another cast request. And today's game coming to us from Callisto34, I believe his name is, who have actually cast the game before and he requested this especially. So getting right into things, pub or pick game. As always, you can have some interesting lineups for sure. I'm sort of vaguely liking the dialect. I mean, so you've got a TA mid, you've got this PA who can probably farm that safe lane, although the OD is questionable. The issue is quite a lot of farm dependent heroes on that team, but at the same time, a lot of team fight power. Meanwhile, over on that Radiant side, we have got that Sven, very, very massive right click damage. May have some issues against that PA though. Simply because of the evasion. Sven doesn't attack very quickly, so evasion actually has a pretty big impact in that regard. Sven's big thing is that when he does get the right click off, he hits like a freight train that's got rocket boosters attached to it. So depending how well Chancellor Puddinghead on that Phantom Assassin is able to farm up, may well be able to take on this Sven coming into that late game. Of course, if Sven is able to get those attack speed items up, may swing the other way. We have got both teams all fully picked up, so running over both. Value going to be playing that Bat Rider. No hint as to who's going mid just yet. May well be that Bat Rider. At any rate, RA Digital on that next assassin. Also potentially a mid looking at items. He's going 4-3 branches. May well be opting to go that way. We'll have to see. Foxhound Jester actually going into that off lane as Sven, while Bad Jabjar going to be playing a support Treant in that bot lane. He's going to be helping out Alchemist, going to be played by Dad. Polweski going to be playing that Axe, running around in that jungle. Warlord actually going to be, looks like the support perhaps in this lane, although he is heading mid. Looks like Wolf will actually, in fact, be bot lane on TA. She'll be helped out there. Although TMB Arch heading into that top lane as well. So Warlock, run by TMB Arch, will be supporting Chancellor Puddinghead in this lane. Now, Warlock's, I mean, he's an immensely powerful hero in teamfights. It is, of course, his strongest suit. And it does look like we will be seeing Bat Rider mid. At least Nyx doesn't look like he wants to be going into the mid lane. We're getting back to Warlock. Very, very powerful hero in teamfights. And Cindy, you do have quite a bit of AoE damage in that OD. You can get a nice ulti off from the Warlock, bonds everybody together, and then OD just brings down that colossal damage. You can get, if you get lucky with bonds, I believe it's 200% bonus damage from bonds. So 100% bonus damage, I should say, 120% from memory, indeedy. So 200% damage, and that ulti is already can almost insta-gib certain heroes. Certainly a hero like Sven, not a huge deal of HP, especially in those early fights. Present out Warlock as a support, quite a bit more farm dependent, especially against a hero like Sven, and Nyx might struggle because he doesn't have something like a Rubik Lift, something like a Twin-Headed Dragon Stun that can really stop the enemy if they do opt to dive his carry. The other issue is he can't roam all that well. He will indeed be Bat Rider in that mid lane. Actually, I'm going to take a Stout Shield, although he's ranged here, which is always a little bit like Alk does come in nice and powerful, catching 2, and now a stun from Sven follows up, but that has burnt all of his mana, doesn't actually kill anybody off that. So as a result, that may be an issue for this lane, because Sven now with no, well, he has got himself some gauntlets, but I mean that doesn't give you any intelligence. So you can already see his mana down at 53. Will be some time from going for another stun. As a result, PA should actually be able to farm decently, I would imagine. Warlock already going in with the harass, has got the heal as well in this bot lane. Haven't actually mentioned him yet, but Alk, the big hero, fallen off actually quite a bit since TI3, I think. most people would agree. Still certainly a strong hero, but he has seen some nerfs. The nerfs hurt him more late game than early on, and the big issue, apologies, OD picking up that first blood on Batrider in that mid lane. Also, Batrider went for the dive, and of course, did not succeed. Indeed, Imprison used. So apologies for missing that. Did want to talk about the Alk, because Alk now doesn't have that big HP pool. I am expecting something to go down in this top lane, although, as I said, Wolf taking decent damage, getting right click down, and now the stun getting charged up. Does she have a meld? She does not. Out does come the stun, but they will opt to back off, not wanting to dive under that tower. Don't have a huge amount of damage yet. Meanwhile, stun does fly on Chancellor Pudding Head. Stun is there on Sven, going to be used. He'll pop by Warlock, but I don't think it's going to be enough indeed. One more right click will finish the job, but they can't get in range. Manage to blink away just in time. Does have Dagger to turn around, and she's going to escape. Does throw out the Dagger. In comes Axe. Out comes the Impale. Not enough to finish off. Now right clicks. Nyx in some trouble, taking decent damage over time. Sven is there, and Axe cleans him up. Sven having to back away. Should be able to see that we don't have Battle Hunger for the next few seconds. And looking at heroes, does look like OD does have the advantage here, indeed, against any intel hero. He will generally lead in last hits. He will, but I mean, Batrider will have a little bit easier time of things, simply because he does have Napalm to even the odds, as opposed to somebody like Queen of Pain, just does not have that. And we do have a lot of stacks up on that OD. It looks like Batrider's thinking about something. Doesn't have the mana for Firefly, though. And if OD had been caught by Firefly, he would have gone down there. A couple of right clicks would actually be enough to finish him off. Anyway, another Napalm stack. He's at 7. And one more right click, not quite enough. One more will finish the job, and down he's going to go. But now Bat in some trouble will in fact drop. Misplay there by him. Needed that point in Flame Break. So, another trade. Now Alchemist quite low, still on level 3 as TA picks up the trade. It looks like a creep actually got that. I assume they dived. I'm not 100% sure what happened there, as we did come just out of that mid-game engagement to the bot lane. As is that we'll put a little bit then in terms of how well Alchemist can farm, because he's not really getting space to farm, doesn't have a lot of HP left, does of course have the armor heal coming out. Now once he hits level 6 he'll be fine and dandy, and that is the thing with Alchemist. Now his early game I feel is a lot stronger with the change to his ulti. His mid, and especially late, however, he has fallen off. And again, especially when you consider how much nuking power you've got for that dire side, you've got this OD ulti that can come slamming down, tear chunks out of you. You can couple that with a Warlock, and you turn a skill that's already fearsome into something that is just devastating. And then, I mean, Axe has decent contribution to that. Certainly not as overwhelming, but anything does help. And especially against the Alchemist, you consider you have that big nuke. Even if it doesn't finish him off, you don't have Axe to clean him up, simply because he no longer has that big buffer of HP. Now TA going to get a hands on an Invis rune or not, just going to pass by, as we do get the lasso used on OD. Goes for the ulti but misses heavily. Batrider getting a kill out of that, and probably I'd say more importantly you get the OD ulti used, not going to be out for the next 2 minutes. And that does mean if any engagement does go down at the moment, I would very much favour the Radiant side. Again, but Warlock not the strongest until he gets levels. He's only level 4. So not going to have the Chaotic Offering, not going to have those points in upheaval anytime soon. Now we do have TA with the Invis rune as the TP comes in from OD. Out does come the Imprisonment. One meld hit and going to be used indeed, but they just don't have the damage to clean up. And with the armor then, meld hits, I'm not sure if that was a meld hit or not. Certainly a big glowing attack. I believe it was an Arcane Orb. Missed at any rate, and Batrider were able to get away pretty much free. At the same time, Alchemist has been farming. This lane's still only level 4, and Arcane's getting picked up on Warlock again on level 4. Sven actually taking a decent amount of heat now, and we did have heard Axe use something, but it was just going for creeps. And Nyx has spotted out a double damage rune, but the issue is without his ulti, he's not going to be able to apply that. Once he gets the ulti, OD is going to be in a lot of trouble, certainly. Double damage now getting picked up on the next. Don't have ward coverage there, so OD may still be in some trouble. If you're a second away from Lasso, it is up now. There to be used. He is used, and OD is cursing himself. He can see this Nyx coming in. Stun, not going to be used. Nice and prison in a nick of time. May actually be able to save his skin. Do we have a flame break? We don't. Nyx circling around, trying to get in range. We do have napalm stacks coming out. No matter the Firefly, the stun does fly, not going to land as a result. OD might be able to get away. We'll try and turn around, and that is perhaps a fatal mistake. You just cannot turn, and one more right click, and down he goes. Yeah, that's the problem with Batrider. If he's chasing you, you basically just have to just run, because if you try and turn to, you know, hasten your escape within the prison, or try and just deal some chip damage to make them a little bit hesitant about going in, the turn rate is so long that by the time you've turned around, cast a skill, and then turn back, you've pretty much always lost the advantage. Now in does come Nyx, pops a spiked, just, I think, to ensure that he can get past back into that lead. Sven, meanwhile, haven't actually mentioned last hits too much, but PA is leading the way up at 36. Speaking of last hits, Alchemist is certainly behind, down at 28, not by much, admittedly, but thanks to Greed, managed to get the minus up a little bit late. It was about 7 minutes 30 when we did see him pick it up. Opportune time on Alchemist used to be, I believe, 4 minutes 30 if you were burning. So 7 minutes is a little late. However, at the moment he hasn't taken too much pressure. Poski actually going to run into that next. 2 stuns are used. Poski in a lot of trouble. Will indeed go down as in comes Batrider. Both going to have, and now Warlock, I think, just trying to buy some time. He will go down. PA does manage to get away, although she does look, yeah, she very wisely opts not to go back in. Throws out a dagger, just again, I think, dealing chip damage. Now, Odie looks like he wants to get something done. He does have that ulti up. Gonna find the bat, however. PA, Chancellor Puddinghead, still just doing some chip damage. Can't do much else at this point, I don't think. Certainly not without 2, or maybe even 3 heroes in that lane. Axe is certainly coming in. Again, we do have the ulti up on OD. TP now coming out from Batrider, heading into that bot lane. Looking to deal perhaps with the TA. We don't have the lasso. Was using the Warlock, a little bit of a waste there. Of course, meanwhile, has retreated into that jungle. Has got the minus on, off cooldown rather, which you never like to see, because any point in time now the stun going to get used will fly as Treant tries to back away. Out does come the stun. No mana for spray, no mana for anything really. Ulti is popped, and I would again like to see this minus used, finally used. Now out does come the Firefly Wolf, and a lot of problems. Double napalm stack, and Batrider just tears straight through TA, although we'll have to back up against that tower. Again, doesn't have his lasso. But Batrider, I mean, TA was the best mid almost a year to this day ago, in fact. And then suddenly Batrider reared his head, and everybody realized that if you run a TA against the Batrider, bad things do happen, and it's still true. TA going up against the Batrider will just, she has no survivability. She tries to meld to get away. He can just firefly over the top of her. She can't blink. She can't do anything except lose HP. Her refractions just disappear in an instant. And, I mean, I did mention the PA versus Sven earlier, but it's also true out does come the Imprison and the ulti. Didn't see Sven's HP, and will be able to get away. Now the out does come the dagger OD giving chase, but the armor should be able to allow it to get away indeed. Now Nyx does go for the spiked, decent damage. And 2 heroes going to have to back away as Batrider looking for a kill, wanting to get that the lasso. Doesn't have flame but go, and does come the axe. PA jumps to him now. The axe does use the hunger at the same time lasso is used, so managed to actually stop Warlock from getting dragged back too far. Pesky is there, does have his ult if they want to clean up, may well be able to use it. Axe with a spin, that's enough for him. Has already picked up his Vanguard. Speaking of item progression, as we do have this interim, hold that thought. Dad looks like he wants to go in, so have to run over this quickly. Ulti is popped, so charging in, doesn't have mana. I think just going for general right clicks, just want to scare the hero off. Why not? I will have to back up now. So, in this interim, Batrider's still only got the bottle, though looking at gold, actually pretty far away from that blink, surprisingly. I mean, he's been able to roam fairly well, but I think those early deaths have hurt him as the tower does go down for Dire. Meanwhile, Digital sitting on absolutely nothing. 900 HP, will probably be looking to get his arcane, but well away from anything resembling a Dagon. Sven picked himself up a Morbid Mask. Does suggest the Mask of Madness build. Now, normally I wouldn't be, normally I think decent item. The issue I'm foreseeing is that against this team, you've got a lot of AoE damage. Again, the Warlock, again, the OD, both of which go through BKB. So picking out the Mask of Madness, even if you then get the BKB after that, you will have some issues with survivability. And I'm not 100% sure if at the moment his team can create the space he needs to be able to just wail away freely with Mask of Madness damage. Whatever the case, Treant Protector now sitting on almost nothing as well. We'll be able to pick up his arcanes. Looks like he's on the way. Indeed, there we go. Alk, apologies. Managed to pick up the TA. Looks like we did have the lasso used there. Lasso and haste, the combination. Now the stun there on TMB and some problems. We're trying to get away. Will go down to a right click. Now the Battle Hunger used. In jumps the PA. Out comes the Battle Hunger. Ulti used by Sven. Doesn't have points in cleave though. So not going to have that big damage. The ulti is there from Treant. Out it does count. So Sven trying to do what he can. I think actually missing Pudding Head for the most part. Now Digital does go down. Sven in some trouble. Axe's ulti is there, I think. Not used, and PA double kill for her. Nice gold advantage, and well on the way to a battle for her. Indeed, she should have this within the next 2 minutes, I'd imagine, if not even quicker. 200 gold away from it now. I should have it after this next creep wave, almost, I believe. And again, I do just want to get back to items. We might see a push in this lane, although I don't think they quite have the damage. We will certainly have a retaliation coming out with Sven only a second away from respawning. But we have, in the meantime, had Alchemist pretty much uncontested in this lane. I believe he did get that kill on TA. Haven't had too much else happen in his lane in terms of general kills. At least I don't think it will benefit him, but he has picked himself up his treads. There, perhaps the BKB. Again, it will do a little bit less this game than in general, although we'll still take the edge off of OD's Arcane Orb. Certainly now that out does come that lasso on Waller trying to get away. Sven stun follows it down. He goes very quickly, chasing it, Pudding Head backing away. Doesn't want to go head to head with that by any means. Meanwhile, we do have TA pushing that bot lane. So again, a fight might break out. We do have the Mythril Hammer picked up, suggesting the BKB. Now, I did say on Sven, it wouldn't really bolster his survivability. At least there would be skills to go through it. Now, that is still true. At the same time, again, takes the edge off of those Arcane Orbs, which are going to be a pretty big, outside of the ulti, will be a pretty big sustained factor. And I believe we'll stop taking Fatal Bonds damage. I'm not 100% sure about that. Is HP removal, so I might be wrong. Now the Sven Warcry is used. Stun. Out it does come on. Arch stun does follow as well. Very long duration. The ulti used by Warlock, but the issue is I don't think it's going to be enough. Although, maybe spoken too soon, does pop the heal. Just general right clicks going in there. Now the Warlock Golem trying to do what it can. They will, in fact, have to back up. They just don't have the damage or the lockdown, really, just yet. Alchemist wanting that AC and Basher. I noticed one problem with Alchemist, he is fairly prone to being any melee carry, really, but you do have issues with being kited, and Alchemist, especially early on, doesn't have a lot of general chasing damage. You do have that big colossal stun. Once that's used, if you don't kill the target inside that to occur, tower and the email goes down top. So Radiant losing the tower battle, all T1 still up for that Dire site. Meanwhile, Dire have taken 2.
A mysterious
now Pudding Head, I said Battlefield before, and indeed picked up at about 16 minutes. Now tipping into that bot lane. Looks like she wants to fight. They don't have the Warlock ulti, though. They are going up against a Treant ulti as well. I don't really favour their chances. It looks like it will actually be a Maelstrom up on the Alchemist. Now, out does come that stun on Arch. The stun being charged on Arch as well. Going to fly on Arch. Unfortunately, although Pudding Head now caught by the Entangle trying to get away, does have the blink, but the creep's right next to her. Can't really use it. Still trying to get away. We do have somebody coming in, and that somebody is Warlord. Stun getting charged. Meanwhile, on the Alchemist, looking for a kill on Puddinghead. I don't think going to find it. And now jumping in. Sven, meanwhile, getting picked up, and PA getting a kill. Sven actually went down to the tower. Looks like TA dived in on him, and in the meantime, Imprisoned coming out on Trent, I believe. DD out he comes, no mana left. Ulti is used, don't have to finish him off, and so as a result, that may well be a waste. Although Trap is used, down he goes to PA. Dagger. Another 1,000 gold in the bank. Beautiful fight for them, and looking at gold now, nearly 7,500 in the favor of that dire side. 4,000 in terms of XP. Did hear the Imprisoned used was in fact on that next. I don't believe they have detection, doesn't look like it at the very least. Dad now there has picked up his Maelstrom, would again like to be seeing him use this Midas. Now Nyx has gone for a kill. Stun now flies on Warlord. Digital with absolutely no mana left. Does pop the spike, managed to get the stun on Warlord. Warlord as a result will go down. Ulti popped on Sven. They're going to give chase from this. You're going to pop a Sven ulti and then not look to follow up. Trap is popped, however, and I do like TA there. She didn't just panic pop it, she waited, because you do get that extra slow as a result. Now Puddinghead might be in some trouble, will indeed get stunned here, going to fly, going to hit, and they are still giving chase. Stun gonna fly, hit Puddinghead once again. Impale comes out, hits absolutely nothing. Water Refractions do get burned, but in the meantime, Batrider does go down. Sven cleans up the mega kill streak, and now the tides seem to have turned. A T1 for that Radiant side. Very nice fight, and again, I believe it was the Sven finishing up a mega kill. Some nice gold for him, 600 at that. And looking at items, he has used that to finish up a Mask of Madness, building towards that BKB. Picked up an Ogre Club. Now, Alchemist got the Maelstrom earlier. At this point, I think does need to be going for HP, whether that's the BKB or the Armlet. Or perhaps the Heart, although I think Heart is a little too pricey at this point, simply in terms of how easily you can build it. Now Nyx on the run. Imprisoned was used earlier, can't quite get in range again. Battle Hunger looks like has been used with only 1 point in it. Does still have quite a short cooldown. Now out does come that Imprisoned. Sven just going to run away, can't really do too much, doesn't have the mana for a stun, although Spike is popped and it looks like Digital might be able to get away off that indeed. Now the stun used on the I assume on Warlord, who is missing some of his HP. Anyway, it doesn't look like either side really wants to fight, both backing up pretty sharply. Now, OD not actually doing too well in terms of items, building towards that 4 stuff at the same time at Treads. Now, finally, at 19 minutes in, we do have the blink up on that. Again, this is quite delayed. But at the same time, the fact that he has it now will allow him to, certainly if he can catch somebody like the PA, she's been doing most of the damage in these fights for the most part. OD's ultis haven't been that fantastic. Now the 4 stuff does come out. But yeah, OD's ulti's not that great. If you can get a PA, I actually do favour the chances of Radiant coming out of a fight ahead. Batrider blinking in, not 100% sure why. Looking for a kill on Wolf, perhaps. The lasso is there, not going to be used, so it could still turn around, taking decent damage, refraction damage. And now Axe coming and looking for a kill, does throw out the hunger. We do have the blink from Batrider, enables him to get away in time. Before that first tick. Now Wolf roaming in, looking to get something done. We do want wards up both sides, and the Battle Hunger is used. Berserker's cool, sorry. And out may well be in some trouble trying to get away. Trent is there, does have invisibility. Overgrowth is used. Lasso on Warlord as Wolf comes in, getting all the refraction charges melted away. Stun flies in from Sven. Sven just going to tear through everything, and down 2 heroes, 3 heroes go for absolutely, well, 2 ultis, but no death. PA still in that bot lane. She's going to have a very hard time if a fight does break out. Now it looks like Radiant want to go straight for that T2, which will probably succeed in that, I would imagine. Again, a very nice fight for Radiant. Tides very much starting to turn against the dire side. We look at gold indeed. Very big swing in that regard. 7,500, almost a 5k swing. not quite as big in terms of XP, but still from 5,000 to 2,500. Now the full Mona up on Alchemist. Again, I would like to see some bulk on the hero. I think one issue is quite simply that we haven't had these big team fights going on for the Dire side quite yet. As a result, so far, lack of bulk hasn't been an issue for either Sven or the Alchemist. Now the stun used on Pollock's going to get Vendetta up as well. Does pop the Battle Hunger. Stun flies on Posky. And now TP does come in looking for a kill. I don't think going to find it. However, Sven will have to back up. They will get although the dagger does fly on a creep. I assume a misclick by Chancellor putting it. And as a result, Sven will be able to get away. Now next picking actually interestingly going for a 4-staff as well, as opposed to that Dagon. I mean, most Nyxes do go for just that straight damage build, but it looks like this Nyx wants to be running more utility. Apologies. And I assume it might be because you have got the Sven out and the Alchemist again, two heroes that do want to be sticking close to the target. If a Sven pops his ulti, you 4-staff him in, you can get a couple of seconds of damage out of that big surprise. Also just gives you general positioning, especially for the Batrider. Batrider gets a lasso, Nyx can 4-staff him out. Does look like we will be seeing an engagement going on in this bot lane. Perhaps crucially, Wolf not there. However, the Chancellor putting it now going to get lassoed up. This could be a big problem. OD is there, does have the ulti, not going to be used, or Overgrowth used as well, and it looks like Warlock's just going to drop before he gets the ulti off. Stun does pop on that, but 3 kills. Warlock again, not there. And again, this is the problem. OD seems to be getting caught out without the ulti. I think if a full 5v5 now, BKB up on Outcurve will take a bit. Again, not much out off of Warlock and OD in terms of that initial burst, but will create issues if the fight does become more sustained at the time. And it does look like we will perhaps see a T2 coming out of this. Warlock is there in some trouble, taking decent damage, trying to get away. Now the stun used by Nyx, arching a lot of trouble. Will pop the heal, might actually be able to get away. Wolf now diving, well, looking for a kill. We'll have to back up. Warlock ulti used, catching 3, nicely done. Now the heal is popped. Sorry, the upheaval is popped, cancelled quite quickly. Digital trying to get away, will succeed in that. Now, Batrider very low, goes down to an Axe ulti. We'll give him a bit of speed to chase after that Sven. Don't think you're get range, especially as we get both Phase Boots and Mask of Madness popped. Speaking of Sven, about 1,000 away from that BKB. Digital does pop the spike, managing to clear the distance from 2. Now going to get slowed. Will go down here, I think. Imprison is used. OD ulti very oddly popped as well. And not really necessary, I don't think. It means you're not going to have it for this next fight. Well, not going to have it when you're trying to push into this T1. Warlock ulti is there, certainly, but about to go down. 5 seconds away. Only really going to be able to deal chip damage if it actually managed to make it. 1 right click, 2 right clicks, and then it dies. Now TP is coming in from Sven. He's going to have to get in, indeed, very wisely opts to cancel it. Now Treant roaming around by himself, can't really do too much. Might try and go for a big play Overgrowth, although he's not going to have the time to do it. I thought he might try an Overgrowth and go for the Knight. He does have a lot of base damage, so that's certainly an option, but just couldn't get in place in time. Now the dagger going to fly in, does jump back, manages to catch Chancellor putting it, but now going to get Berserker called, getting a melted. Overgrowth is used. No big AoE ultis there for the Dire side. Now the stun gonna fly, catching too, putting her in a lot of trouble, but that mischance saving her life. Upheaval used as well. Axe picks up a kill, putting her very, very, very low. Stun flies out. Down she goes at last. 2 for 3 trades so far. Now Ark in some trouble, and Prison is used. Alchemist doesn't look like he wants to go in quite yet. Could potentially do it. Do have the BKB. Basically means he takes no damage from Warlord. As is, it looks like Digital will be able to get away. Now the BKB popped for Alchemist. Posky does pop Battle Hunger. Alchemist says, well, I wanted to attack you anyway, tearing through him. And now the charge getting popped. out it does fly. Only managed to catch Posky, but Posky in a lot of trouble. Will indeed go down. At the same time, with the haste room, Warlock should get away. We do see OD. I'm not 100% sure what he was doing over there. At any rate, we'll pass over that ward. In fact, Alchemist could potentially cut him off. The stun getting charged. Certainly Sven ulti is there. Not quite able to get it off, however, with a nice 4-star from OD. As a result, free escape for him. Did actually see the basher brought up on Alchemist. There we go. Now, the one issue there was that he couldn't quite stick to out with the basher up, with the Maelstrom up, Molnir up, actually. Should have no difficulties in that regard, certainly. From here, I would say he's probably going to be looking for an AC. Well, a straight Abyssal, actually, from Skullbasher. I think he's not too worried about taking damage at this point. But after that, I would assume the AC just gives your team a little bit more bulk against that PA, but also give you more attack speed, more damage with that minus armor. Now, Nyx roaming around, has spotted out two, looking like he wants to go in on wall. Indeed, stun gonna fly, gonna catch, and mana burn still not used. Lasso popped. I'm not 100% sure it was necessary. Stun does fly, unfortunately not catching Posky. Now the ulti pop for Sven, now looking for a kill on this axe. 4-stuff used by the Nyx. He does have the Impale, not going to use it. The Mural Alchemist cleaning up the Warlock. Posky on the run. We are going down. It's probably a T2 off of that. I mean, the creeps are fairly far out, but you've got about 30 seconds on that. PA, as farmed as she was a while back, just not going to be able to hold the fort against 5 angry heroes, especially you see the Alchemist already had, although they are roaming in looking for killing her as opposed to pushing. I think realizing that danger, she's TP'd away. It's good map awareness by her. And from here, building towards that BKB. And if she's quick with that trigger finger, can dodge quite a bit of stuff. Lasso's still going to be an issue, and the big problem, I think, in that fight we saw at the T2 bot was that she got caught by the lasso. We may well see a repeat of that, although 5 seconds left for Batrider. Can't quite get in there in time. TA now there as well. And also PA going to be able to get herself a double damage. It would become very, very scary indeed.
Double damage.
She has just hit level 16 as well, so this is a full power crits she's dishing out. Although I think it looks like Dire looking to play a more defensive game at this point. Radiant are holding the cards at the time being. For the time being, they know it as well. And it's in the Dire team's best interest to be playing a defensive game. Now, Chancellor Buddinghead, she is there. She's very far out, going to get caught by the Overgrowth. Actually able to blink out. And now the stun going to get charged up. Warlock ulti comes down. OD ulti as well. Found Hunter just melts. The lasso does pop. Alchemist cleaning house. 1 kill, 2 kills. Warlord drops as well. 5 for 2. Trade. Colossal fight. Double kill for the Owl. I saw him tearing through everything. He didn't actually seem to GG called by a wolf. Indeed it does feel like it. I was about to say before that fight broke out, it's in Dire's best interest to play defensively, because I thought if they could get an OD, a Warlock ulti into OD ulti, they could potentially still take out a pretty big chunk of the Radiant team. But as that proves, you can certainly clean up the Sven, clean up something like the Triumph, but you cannot finish off the Alk quickly anymore, and as a result, he will just tear shreds right out of him. Alchemist going to town on that T3. You can see, I mean, he's taking tower down. He doesn't care. He's just regenning through it. Will on the back off though. As a BKB does come out on Sven as well. Again, compounding the problem for that team.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
In the meantime, looking up. I'm actually getting a pipe up on Nyx. So again, he's going for that utility build instead of damage. Which is generally, I mean, it's not the, although, just want to have a look at, picked up another Maelstrom. They stuck in the same way that crits do, and they're diminishing, very much diminishing returns. I would like to be seeing just go straight for the Abyssal. I think it gives you a lot more damage, plus that reliable lockdown. But he seems to be happy with just more and more lightning. Is certainly, well, it's the best attack speed line in the game that isn't Mask of Madness. I can understand why it doesn't go for Mask of Madness. But just getting back to that next assassin, going for the utility build. I think one reason is quite simple. There's nobody else in this team to be getting something like Pipe, at least Batrider not close to affording it. Does look like we're going to be seeing a Roshan attempt. That ward is there to scout them out. Has spotted Wolf, has spotted that OD, and then Oposki's there as well. All of Radiant grouping up. Definitely looks like something's going to go down. Next does have the level 16, so can just scout around pretty much indefinitely. Looking for a kill on Wolf. Stun does fly. Battle Hunger is used. Looking for a kill. Wolf gonna stun herself. Stun used. Down she goes. Arkham will jump down. He goes. 2 down already. Lasso from Batrider soon to follow. Imagine can't quite get in range. So does finally find it. Does get Battle Hungered. However, value actually going to drop, and as a result, Puddinghead getting a kill there. But now Alchemist comes in, looking to just clean house. Stun use, Overgrowth used, does catch Posky, but Puddinghead able to get away for the time being. Posky going to go down. Out. Sven actually drops to, I think, OD ulti. In jumps, Puddinghead gets a kill there. Does get stunned up, and now they might actually be able to turn around on this Alchemist. Does he have BKB? He does indeed, so should be able to just get away. Although OD tracing pretty hard, wants to get something done, will force stuff, will go for that in prison, but Puddinghead's not there. He's got a BKB. I think he's very much going to regret this. Stun getting charged up from the OD, going to land. Not the max duration, certainly, but not going to matter. Warlord dropping in that interim. And Puddinghead now coming in, but alone. Not much you can do against this out. This really, I mean, the tables have basically flipped. Because 10-15 minutes ago, it was the PA who was just tearing through absolutely everything. Now it's the Alchemist and it's Puddinghead who's having to just kind of back off and not really able to go toe-to-toe with the out. That is one problem with PA in that if you're very, very lucky, you have got decent carrying power, but as a steroid, it's not as reliable. And so as a result, she does generally kind of fall off late game simply because you don't have that, you're not something like a Garo, something like a Luna who just has, you can sort of come into a fight and go, okay, this is how much damage I'm going to dish out. Instead, you're hoping for those, especially against an Alchemist, a lot of crits early and fast, because you can't rely on getting a protracted fight with lots of, where you can get 3 or 4 crits. If you go into a fight like that, Alchemist is going to heal in the meantime. And indeed, probably tear the rest of your team apart as well while you're trying to get those crits up. Now, in does jump the Batrider. Going to find the lasso on Posky. Not the best target defensively, but should be able to get Overgrowth used as well. Oddly, Posky dealing decent damage, but will go down. Actually managed to survive there for a decent amount of time, and we did have 3 ultis used for him. So I'd honestly say his sacrifice was not in vain. PA, does she have a TP? She does indeed. Should be able to get away and will indeed back off. Alchemist meanwhile picking up the Roshan by himself, just tearing it apart. So didn't pick up the Abyssal not too long ago. So the fact that he's now getting there so fast, I think evidence is just how much damage he's dealing at this point. Okay, now the Shiva's up on the tree, and just, I think, more fuel for the fire at this point. Now, the stun going to fly on Wall and a lot of trouble. Value does jump in. ODL to use decent damage value. Lasso's up. The Wolfle, now they do find a kill on the... Nyx, finds a kill on the OD. Certainly, Alan does come. That Warlock ulti should actually digitally able to get away, and Alchemist popped the BKB a little too early. Has already picked up TA, who can kill on Arch. Not quite going to find it. Another ulti used by Triumph. PA trying to get away. Stun does fly. Basher is there on PA, and she will go down. Triple kill for the Alchemist. And it really does feel out. Now down goes that Rux in the meantime, just to natural creep push. did have the T3 taken out a little bit earlier, and I was a little bit surprised there because it feels like most of these fights, it's, you know, Dire dealing decent damage, taking out Sven, taking out Batrider, taking out Nick, certainly, but then Alchemist comes in, and then it's just a whole other story, and Alchemist is really just holding his own weight at the moment, just tearing through everything that the Dire side try and do. It's just, I mean, PA just has, it's just nowhere. Well, she's not even close to out, just in terms of how big an impact she's having on the game at this point. I mean, part of it is, well, most of it, in fact, is I think just simply due to the heroes. Again, Alchemist, much scarier late game hero simply because he does have that reliable DPS. He's not taking too much nuke damage at this point, so he's comfortable with that heal instead of the HP. He's got himself 2 Mousetraps and Abyssal, so he's farming fine and dandy. That does look like we might see an engagement go on in that top lane, and Prison is used. Posky is trying to get in range, will miss the cool stun, getting charged up by the Alchemist, going to land on Arch. Down he goes. Now this slow there on Dad. Dad actually dropping quite low, does get the Abyssal off. Wolf not quite going to go down, looking to back away. Of course, that is just the Aegis. Out does come the Battle Hunger. I think Post regretting that pretty clear. Overgrowth use. Dad actually going to drop. It looks like putting hit. So TA picking hit. Now Panava dealing decent, taking decent damage. Is Battle Hungered? I'm not 100% sure. That will be enough to kill him, certainly. And does pop the armor, trying to get some HP. Will that be enough is the question. Yes, is the answer there. And buyback comes out from Alchemist almost instantaneously, but that is still a pretty big deal because they managed to not only take out an Aegis. I mean, that's the first time Alchemist has actually died in a good long while. Second death of the game. But just looking at how much gold, that was 1400 gold. Meanwhile, TA picking out a kill on that next. And I just want to look at gold. Well, only a little bit of a swing. 15,000k now in that Radiant favor. Out comes stun on Pudding Head. Probably dead here. Abyssal used as well. Pudding Head going to look to blink away. Will succeed in that. Going to the creep. So nice little play by her. Still going to struggle to get away. However, trying to juke through those trees. Trying to create any kind of distance she can. Another stun going to get charged up. Still in some trouble. Does blink to the Warlock. Now the upheaval going to be used. And Alchemist, probably, well, moving very slowly, should be able to get away. Certainly. Out does come the Warlock, already catching Dad on the edge. Fortunately, that Willmin is not there for the rest of this fight. Well, and I assume a fight will break out quite sharply indeed. Padabajar looks like they know he's there. Warlock actually quite far out. Going to get stunned up as well, and overgrowth. Stone ulti is used. Alchemist comes in to pick him up. Stun actually going to fly on Wolf as well, so I'm not catching Pudding Head. Battle Hunger used to try and create some space. Posky drop pretty low. Now Wolf is in trouble, surrounded by 2. Going to get Abyssal up, down. She's going to go. In comes the OD. Does have the ulti. Not going to be used quite yet. Prison is used, gets up 1 kill on the Alchemist. Down does go Sven in the meantime. 2 towers now. Padabajar trying to get away. Doesn't have any mana whatsoever. A lot to control. BKB popped on Pudding Head. Very preemptive there. I should perhaps misclick. Prison used. Warlord very happy to use these prisoners. Padabajar trying to get away, won't succeed. OD cleans him up. I would like to see the OD ulti used a little bit earlier in that fight. I mean, I don't think there was really a particular need to hold off on it. If you can catch 2 heroes like Sven and Alkin, it might as well do it. And that's 90 seconds without the Alchemist. Again, buyback used earlier, 3 minutes away from that. And so now we're looking to push this lane, have another look at gold. Indeed, you can see it start to swing back down. I mean, that's almost a 5k swing, in fact, an XP very sharp as well, 15k to less than, well, about 7.5k it does look like indeed. Now Nick's looking for a kill, probably will find out on Warlord, who is lassoed up. Nick's going to go straight for the Warlock. Warlock in a lot of trouble. And now, with Batrider there as well, will probably go down, trying desperately to get away. 45 seconds away from the ult. He will indeed drop down. He does go. At the same time, OD managed to get away. He gets your carry. Looks like OD He's building himself a BKB at this point, trying to take the edge off those stuns. Now, PA has about 3,800 gold in the bank. Would like to see her saving for buyback at this point. She could finish the Abyssal, certainly. That looks like what she's going to be doing. Didi picks it up now. And she's able to win the fight, certainly. But when you're playing a defending game, having the buyback will also make a pretty big difference. So, if we get another fight like the previous one, where she's able to draw in the Sven and out for this amount of time, as a result lead to their deaths, not a particularly big issue if she doesn't have buyback. However, if she gets jumped on by the Batrider, especially as they are pushing in now, that will be live. Out does come that Battle Hunger. They're going to get Abyssal will drop once again, and suddenly Alchemist really feeling that HP loss. The Battle Hunger used once again on the point by Posky. Down, Batrider goes out as well. And Posky, I am really liking how well he's placing this. He's able to lock down this Alk, he's able to lock down, well, that as well. He knew the Lassie was coming, I think, waited for him to get as close as possible, and then turned around and threw out a disable of his own. Now, Sven certainly coming in. The question is if he can actually do anything here. In jumps Posky once again. Sven quite low, does pop the BKB quite low, I say. Was in some trouble. Has the better word to use, but at the same time, Rax does go down. In jumps Axe once again. Ulti used by OD, taking about half the damage now. Next looking kill. Nice and Pale does catch 4, in fact, as a result. All of them go down as Trip comes in, but now looking for kill on Badger, whatever. Now, and he goes as well. Full team white. They do lose the OD, certainly, but they just managed to take out 4. Alchemist wasn't there, admittedly. As a result, I mean, they're going to be able to take this T2 for sure, I would say, in that intro. I mean, Alchemist is beefy, certainly, but no longer is he this devastating threat. Looks like they just want to go straight for the T2, trying to power through backdoor protection. I don't think they're going to succeed in that, but pushing in the creeps, they've got enough racks of their own. And more importantly, this is the first melee Rax of the game. Now, range Rax makes an impact on lane, certainly, but it's not a melee Rax. Melee Rax means the lane basically becomes useless for farming. It pushes much more heavily. And so that's a pretty big deal for them, especially now that Alchemist is going to be looking to get another big item. In does jump, but does find the lasso on Wolf. Firefly already used. In comes it out, going to get Abyssal up, has popped BKB, trying to go for his ulti, not going to manage it. As a result, 4 go down for that dire side. That Sven stump was massive, honestly. Wolf, ironically, gets lassoed up. The only person who was in that fight who's actually going to be able to get away. Looking to TP. Sven has spotted there, but doesn't have the mana for a... apologies for the stun. At any rate. Pretty big swing, but now it doesn't actually feel like the Radiant side are going to be able to push to take advantage of that, unfortunately for them. Again, you saw there that Warlock, he got stunned, and then he turned around, he wanted to get the ulti, you saw him in that cast animation, and then got stunned once again, I think, by Sven. As a result, they just weren't able to get the space that needed. Alchemist and Sven would just have to come in and tear through everything. Speaking of Sven, picking up a Sancho, I assume going for the Halberd, so well, I assume this is a Halberd, I hope it's not an S and Y. But it seems that to me, that says that they are fearing this PA. Alchemist meanwhile picking up a Daedalus for himself, crit of his own. I think at this point, probably better off selling at least one of the Monas, building something like an AC, simply because, although it does look like we are seeing AC coming on Tramp. Now, in the meantime, this Rush will probably go down. Double damage is there on Alp. Sells his Monef to make space. And 1200 damage crits, just tearing through everything. Warlock, I mean, the Ward, I think, has spotted them going in there, so also knows Alchemist gets the Mimo Sven cleaning up OD. He was very far out of position there. So this is OD down for the next 70 seconds. Looking at buybacks, no, only there on ALK and PA. So indeed, 70 seconds, 60 now for the OD, and Aegis for Alchemist. If Radiant look to push, I'm not sure if Diet can hold. They do have the buyback on PA, which will certainly make a difference. But, please, Alchemist, they can probably pick him off once if they're lucky. Stun going to fly, going to get used. BKB not popped in time, much chance of putting head in some trouble, going to get stunned again. Missile there on Posky. Posky dropping very quickly. Putting head does pop at BKB now, trying to get away. Lasso not used. Now the stun getting charged up on Alchemist, will fly on Arch. Arch went for the odds, heard the sound effect, didn't get it off, unfortunately, once again. Now the Lasso finally on putting head down, he's going to go. Buyback almost instantaneously, 10 seconds away from the OD respawn. TA heal, well, she's almost full health. Potentially go for a fight now. Badger. I just couldn't call him Yellow from now on. Looking to back off, looked like he actually wanted to be pushing that way, but now they are going for that second set of racks. Go for a T3 at least. OD is here. Stun going to get charged up. BKB not there on PA, unfortunately, but Wolf now comes in, dealing a lot of damage. Now Sven going to drop another kill for them. Looking for a kill on Dad. Abyssal does come out, and he looks like he's going to go down. Indeed, he drops as well. OD there. Now going for the Rider in does come that blink. The sheep is used, trying to create some space. Trap used, and he should be able to blink away there. Although the OD ulti used will prevent that. Lots of crits, lots of damage. He just cleans him up. As a result, able to salvage that T3, pick up 3 heroes. You can consider that 4 because they managed to take out the Aegis as well. Buyback was used on the PA, certainly. But at the same time, they have managed to bring themselves back in the game. I still would say it's Radiant's game to lose. But Dire is certainly proving their worth. Another BKB getting brought up on the Alchemist. Filled with gold, buys back as well. I think he just realized that he would have to wait far too long. Sven there in 5 seconds. They should be able to hold this line, and I imagine the issue might be if Wallet gets an ulti off, because that has been one thing. He hasn't gotten an ulti off at all. Now they have it there on Sven. They are indeed respecting, I assume, this TA. Out does come the stun. BKB popped it, does waste. Dad's going to get caught, going to get Abyss, going to drop, and his buyback was already used, and Lasso does come out. Battle Hunger is used. Axe picks up Sven. Digital does get a nice impale, but I think it's a little too late. Although, taking a lot of damage. Posky does manage to clean up 1 kill, trying to get away. Pulse the blade out. PA cleans house with him as well. Meanwhile, Yellow picks up someone. Oh, didn't actually appear to pick. Somebody died. At any rate, he's going to go down in interim. Trying to have a look at that. 100% sure. And GG, well played, is cold. Not sure why Yellow was so far out. At any rate, 3 racks off that. Well, not 3, admittedly. Very big fight, but they will be able to get the racks. Looks like they're going straight for 50 minutes. And honestly, that game very much felt like it was Radiant's game. Indeed, you look at Gold still in their advantage. XP still in their advantage, in fact, but in the end, it was Dire's game to begin with, and then a couple of deaths for the PA swung it back towards Radiant, and we started to see this Alchemist start to come online, and then the exact opposite happened. Alchemist and Sven went down a couple of times, and from there it became kind of this tumble back towards the Dire's side. Chancellor Puddinghead calling out Warlords in prisons. I couldn't agree with that, certainly. A couple of them were a bit questionable. But, I mean, in the end, he was able to... He was pretty big in terms of DPS himself. Come late game, we did see them dealing decent damage to both that Sven and the Alk. And the TA I haven't really mentioned her in her damage, but we saw it in those those fights, especially that second time we saw the Aegis popped for Alchemist. She was dishing out immense amount of damage. I mean, she had crit, she had Deso, she had AC. Certainly not to be sniffed at. And in the end, I think it was just too much for Alk to really handle. He would get pinned down, and from there it was his death. So, my name has been 555. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.